Hey guys, JamesMCD Reviews here. Welcome to a cinematic bucket list. In case you guys didn't know, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is going to be releasing on October 27th, which still feels so weird to be saying in the year of our Lord 2023. I still remember when this movie was first announced back in like 2014, 2015 when Warner Brothers was set to be involved, and then it fell into production hell that seemed like never ending essentially, and then we all just kind of collectively shrugged and moved on and were like, yeah, this movie is never happening, even when people involved with the production reassured us that it was still happening. And even when Blumhouse was confirmed to be involved and some of the casting announcements started coming out and everything like that, I was still like, you know what, I will believe this when I'm in the theater watching the damn movie. And the fact that we are mere weeks away from this movie's release is just ridiculous to think about. But one of the things that came as a result of the FNAF movie's extensive production limbo is several studios came in and looked at the FNAF formula, and they basically said, you know what, an official FNAF movie is most likely never gonna happen, so we're just gonna go ahead and make our own killer animatronic movie.
With blackjack and hookers!
So today, before the rightful king comes to reclaim their throne, I'm gonna be taking a look at two movies that thought that they could ride the wave and leech off of the success and the hype of Five Nights at Freddy's. The Banana Splits movie, released in 2019, directed by Danishta Esterzi, and Willies Wonderland, released in 2021, directed by Kevin Lewis. So starting off with the Banana Splits movie, the plot centers around a group of people going to attend a live taping of the Banana Splits show at the worst possible time. When the network announces that they're canceling the show, the animatronic characters get their revenge and start murdering everyone in the audience. There are things about this movie that I do like, and there are aspects of it that I think worked and that I could enjoy in kind of like a so bad it's good, campy type of way. But weirdly enough, I kind of wanted to enjoy this movie more than I did. Let's go over the stuff that I liked first. Firstly, I thought the production design was really good. It's definitely nowhere near as, I guess, like cheap looking as the original show from the 60s, which this is based off of, but you could make the argument that if that show continued into modern day, this is how it would have evolved. And I do kind of like that sort of, I guess, lore building, if that makes sense. I like sort of the different elaborate sets. I like the way that they're filmed, even the way that they're utilized in some of the like more horror-oriented scenes is both really cool and really funny, which leads me to my next point. Some of the kills looked pretty good. Some of them were pretty standard horror movie kills, and some of them were just off-screen, but I do like sort of the creativity of some of them and how they use a lot of these, I guess, like sets and scenarios. And I also just kind of like how like unnecessarily gruesome they get, like how this movie, like satirizing the Banana Splits, a Hanna-Barbera show from the 60s, feels the need to show like innards and like very gruesome and like brutal and bloody kills. Like I thought that was like really funny. I do think the concept is like sort of a creative one. I mean, taking these characters and like turning them into these like Chuck E. Cheese FNAF animatronics and like having them gain sort of sentience and like vow revenge over the producers that canceled their show. Like I think that's a funny concept, and like the fact that these kids get like roped into it just as a part of a birthday party, I think that that's a fun concept. But like I feel like after that concept sort of wears off, like it comes like the enjoyment of this movie kind of comes in like peaks and valleys. Like there'll be like big stretches of, I guess, like boredom, and then there'll be like little moments where something like shocking happens and you like chuckle and stuff like that. And I guess like those peaks and valleys will vary for a lot of people. Some of you might enjoy the movie all the way through, some of you might not enjoy it at all, and in both cases I completely get it. While I didn't hate this movie, like it wasn't as funny or as like enjoyable as I wanted it to be. The acting is a very big mixed bag, which I know you're not expecting like Oscar contenders from a movie like this, but like people like the older brother, like there are scenes that are supposed to be like really, really tense, and he's just like, it sounds like they gave him like half a bottle of NyQuil before each take. Like, he sounds so disinterested. Like, some of the kids have like kind of awkward line readings. The like little starlet girl who is like being dragged around by her dad, she has kind of poor delivery in a lot of places. The rest of the cast feels like they know what kind of movie this is, and they play into that, and they play to the strengths of that, which I did kind of appreciate. There were a few twists and turns in the story that I definitely wasn't expecting. Like, one of the victims who is survives by the end, there's a turn that happens with her character that I won't spoil, but it was definitely a choice, and it was one that I didn't see coming, and it was a little funny. But I mean, the rest of them are kind of just like your stock horror movie victim characters. Overall, like I said, it's not like the worst movie ever, but it's nothing that I would actively go out of my way to watch again. Yeah, it's just kind of there. It's a fun concept. There are some things that I like about it, but ultimately it's just, it kind of stops at the concept and then just continues for another hour. So, I mean, if this concept sounds like funny to you, or even if you have like a personal connection with this show, you might enjoy it more than me. But other than that, I would probably just say skip it, and I would probably give it a 2.5 out of 5. Next up is Willies Wonderland, which is actually a lot closer in concept and execution to Five Nights at Freddy's. It's about a guy played by Nicolas Cage who doesn't say a word throughout the whole movie, who is driving in and his car breaks down in this like old western town, and they basically give him an offer, if you stay in this like broken down like pizzeria and clean the place up for one night, if you make it out, then they'll pay to have your car fixed. And Nicolas Cage takes up that offer, and he basically is stuck in this place with these possessed like killer robots who are out to kill him, and basically he has to kill them first and survive the rest of the night. If we weren't getting an official Five Nights at Freddy's movie, this would be pretty much the closest thing to one that we could expect. And honestly, for that, I kind of enjoy it a little bit more than the Banana Splits. I mean, I can't actively call it good. Like, it is definitely fun, and it is a little bit more enjoyable just because of how over the top it gets. Like I said, it does stick a lot closer to sort of the baseline concept of Five Nights at Freddy's, for you're trapped in a Chuck E. Cheese style restaurant with killer robots. They even kind of do like the FNAF complicated backstory of, you know, these serial killer like employees who lure children to the back room and murder them, and then when an investigation came and the cops showed up, they all performed some satanic ritual to send their spirits into the bodies of these animatronics. Like, it does that, which I thought was kind of funny, just because of how like random and unnecessary it was. But I mean, like, they're going for a sillier tone, and you know what, I can kind of get behind that. This one I was definitely a lot more invested in than Banana Splits. I liked sort of just there's just something very simple about the premise of Nicolas Cage versus a bunch of killer robots that just, you know, your monkey brain just looks at that and goes, yes, I will enjoy that. And for the most part, I did. I wasn't sure how to feel about the fact that Nick Cage doesn't say a word in the whole movie, but I honestly thought it worked. It did kind of make him feel a little bit more badass. Just the way that the characters like interact with him, and the way he just kind of like grunts, or it's the same reason why the protagonist in Sisu worked so great. Like he doesn't really need to like use his words or spout out a bunch of like corny one-liners and stuff. Like just his actions, and like when he takes his breaks and he plays on that pinball machine and he's doing his little dances and stuff like that. Like that shit is funny. And then when he needs to be really badass, he is really badass. I like the way that the movie looks for the most part. I think I like the colors. I like sort of the like dim neon sort of aesthetic. I like how they make this like pizza place look really run down and gross looking. I like the looks of the animatronics. I like all their like designs. They definitely feel like, you know, knockoff Five Nights at Freddy's, like something out of one of those Five Nights at Freddy's fan games. But it works for the type of movie that they're trying to do. When it gets to the actual like action scenes and some of the like cinematography and stuff, it gets really unnecessarily shaky. The editing in some of those scenes are pretty bad. There's a lot of strobing effects and like very bad like camera work, and like a lot of the shots just get like super overexposed and hard to follow and hard to look at. Other than that, I thought the visual aesthetic worked for the type of movie this was. The acting from everyone else is pretty much what you'd expect. There's a group of teenagers that get roped in who are like trying to burn down the pizzeria. Their performances aren't great. Beth Grant plays the sheriff, who I met in a live stream with TTFT, and now I can officially say I have seen 2 movies out of her filmography, so there you go, Beth. And yeah, overall, it's very stupid. It's very easily just a quick cash-in on like this concept and this franchise, but you know what? I enjoyed it, and I definitely would recommend watching this one over the Banana Splits movie. So going to my ranking, I would have to give Willies Wonderland a 3 out of 5. But anyway, that does it for this video. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of the Banana Splits and Willies Wonderland. Have you seen either of these? Did you like them? Did you hate them? And are you looking forward to the Five Nights at Freddy's movie? Are you going to go see it when it comes out? I've got more videos coming soon, but until then, be sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you can stay up to date on when I'm posting. Follow me on all my social media, subscribe to my main channel. Everything you need to know will be in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.